Prison Break, a short story for your enjoyment. Eddie prepared for this moment for almost 5 years. The computer virus he installed would trip out the power in the penitentiary, and the computer would unlock all the doors, starting from his own cell, to the exact path he needed to escape. Just 2 minutes until it happened. So long as nobody found a bug in the computer system and none of the guards catch him, he'll be a free man. And Eddie timed it perfectly. The lights shut off and he got out of his bed, slid the door open, and stepped into the hall. Every inmate he walked past kept the code of silence among prisoners and looked the other way. They knew what would happen if they brought it to the attention of the corrections officers. He smuggled in black clothing. The biggest challenge for now was keeping out of the path of the emergency lights, and the guards would never see him in the darkness. At the door that separated his cell block from the visitor area, Eddie pressed his ear to the door. There was no sound. He tried the door, and as expected, it was unlocked. He stepped into the room and inched the door close behind him. Halfway to the opposite door, he heard footsteps and voices of corrections officers. His heart raced as he got on his hands and knees and crawled under one table. At the same instant, the door opened and 3 guards walked in, shining their flashlights about the room. As the guards moved around, Eddie kept his breathing quiet. Freedom was so close, he just couldn't get caught now. Lucky for him, the officers didn't bother to check under the tables. Eddie waited about 30 seconds to ensure the guards were gone before crawling out from under the table. The hall outside the visitors' area was empty as he crept down. Just another 100 feet to go. He saw shadows from an emergency light in the window of the check-in desk, so he crawled up below the sight line of the window. The prisoner had perfected, through practice, how to move silently. Now at the last door, he stood, opened it, and slid outside. 300 feet away was the 50-foot fence. With guards at the gate, Eddie would have to climb the fence. But from somewhere, a dog barked. Eddie scanned the area, and the dog handler had not released the dog, indicating he hadn't yet seen him. His first choice was to have run for the fence and climb, but the dog handler would see him, and Eddie would never outrun a dog. But staying put wasn't an option either. There was one option, and that was to crawl to the fence. The hopeful escapee flattened himself to the ground and began army crawling towards the fence. The dog barked, and the handler asked the dog what was wrong. Closer and closer he got to the fence, and the dog kept barking. What seemed like hours to Eddie was actually 30 seconds, and the dog handler shouted the words he never wanted to hear. "You stop there!" And now he had no choice. Jumping to his feet, Eddie sprinted off towards the fence. Barking his head off, the dog gave chase as it quickly gained ground on Eddie. The handler spoke into his radio there was an escape attempt. Eddie got to the fence and tried climbing, but the dog grabbed his leg and started shaking. The man fell off the fence onto his back. In desperation, Eddie tried kicking the dog, but the animal wouldn't give up. His escape attempt ended when 4 corrections officers arrived with their guns drawn. If you like that book, check out my books on No Remorse, No Regret, as well as No Rest for the Vengeful, and Witness on Protection. They're all available in the links below the video. Thank you, and have a good day.